Hey, what's up, you guys? It's me, it's Ben. Hey, I'm using a new platform, brand new platform today for Facebook Live. It's called Be Live. How do you like that? So, trying out some new technology, but I think it's going to work well. I'm stoked about today's guests, Keith and Michelle Norris. I'm kind of crooked here with my computer, so let's kind of, there we go. Yeah. Okay, so you can see me, and you can see Keith and Michelle, at least their freaking bookshelf. How's everybody doing, by the way? Leave your somebody start typing a comment. I want to see if I can see your comments. So type a comment if you can see this. Well, I take a sip of my Pellegrino, because this podcast is brought to you by San Pellegrino. If I don't say so myself. Put a little bit of stevia in here. It's good. And by the way, everybody, I can see your comments just fine. Michelle, what's shaking?
Hey, I'm sorry. Are we late? Oh, we are. Oh, I'm sorry. We have people that just came into our office. Hey, everybody. Sorry about that. Keith is on his way in here. But yes, sorry about that. My empty desk.
Can't believe you're late. It's unbelievable. Guys, I apologize. Michelle and Keith really got to get together. I just realized that I perfectly have aligned my antler shirt with the actual antlers in my office, and I didn't even plan that. So, how do you like that? Yeah. How are you doing, Michelle?
Doing great. Doing wonderful.
Cheers. So, what's up, Keith? What kind of crazy brew are you drinking there? Oh, you got bacon.
That's mine.
Bacon and coffee.
He took my bacon. Anyway.
Oh, I thought that was like a plastic piece of like fake bacon that you keep around.
It's real bacon.
This is real bacon.
Because you have to eat on the run.
Are you drinking bacon too, Keith? Is that just a cup of bacon? Bacon and coffee. Well, I'm doing Pellegrino, so I guess I'm not as carnivorous as you guys are.
Well, if you were in Austin, you'd be drinking Topo Chico.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I like Topo Chico. When I'm in Austin, actually, that's one of the few places that I actually can find Topo Chico. I can drink Topo Chico. So that brings us,
only available here.
That brings us. Watch what I'm going to do here. This is going to be an awesome segue. Speaking of Topo Chico and Austin, all right. So
yes, they've been waiting on us. They were all making comments. Michelle Norris's empty desk.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you can see in the comments there. So the reason we're doing this Facebook Live, for those of you watching right now, is because it's well known in the fitness and the health community that the South by Southwest of our little fitness, health, nutrition, primal, ancestral, paleo, whatever you want to call it, community, is this global gathering that occurs in Austin, Texas, every year called Paleo FX, put on by the great Keith and Michelle Norris. And today we're going to talk about some of the most exciting things you guys can expect to see there, questions that you have for Keith and Michelle. And you can ask them questions too if you want to about like their, what they've been up to from a fitness routine lately. And I actually have a question for you, Keith, by the way, because I just finished a podcast recording with a dude who told me something about you that I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to totally spring it on you. Questions about their fitness, their diet, their supplements, the most interesting things, and the things that they're most excited about Paleo FX this year. Any questions that you have about why you should be there, what you're going to discover, and I'm going to share a few things too. But first of all, lest I make this a mystery any longer, and before we turn to Paleo FX, Keith, I was interviewing Kevin Ballister, the guy who used nutrition, just wrote a book about how to feed a brain. We were literally just podcasting this morning. He told me that you kind of like went on a stint where you were taking something like 15 to 20 grams of fish oil per day.
40.
How much? 40 grams of fish oil per day. 40 grams. Now, for those of you not familiar with grams, that's like the average dosage would be like maybe a gram that you get from a few capsules. So, Chris, did you have like a disaster pants or what happened?
No, not at all. I had to get over. We took liquid, right, because that's the only effective way to horse down that much fish oil. Did it for 30 days, 40 grams. I split it 20 grams in the morning, 20 grams in the evening. And 20 grams, just so you know, works out to about a shot glass full of liquid. So we're talking about 2 shot glasses full. And yeah, I can tell you, I didn't have, because I started from a very healthy position to begin with. I didn't have a whole lot of, no disaster pants, so that was that. I really didn't have a whole lot of outward effects other than my perception was very, very sharp and contrast, very defined. So my vision was very, colors was very vivid. Everything was sharply defined. And I likened it to, I don't know any other way to say it, microdosing.
Right.
Wow.
And that's about the closest that I can relate the two. With
you
brain
like microdosing with like LSD or something like that.
Psilocybin. Yeah. It was that kind of clarity, and also the ability to connect desperate dots that I might have otherwise not connected. That was the big thing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to one up you and try a copious amount of DHA combined with psilocybin.
Hey, yeah.
I happen to have both up in my pantry right now, so I can just give it a go and see what happens.
Yeah.
And, for those of you watching today's Facebook Live, I'll keep you posted on that. Now, so Paleo.
I'm going to jump in. I want to jump in there, Ben, because I did the 40 grams per day too. And yes. So we both did it. We both did this. And what I found is, so I had a C-section.
Right.
I actually had 2. Both my children were born by C-section. And I've been numb still in that same area where the C-section was. And I noticed that what happened is that I started gaining back after taking the 40 milligrams per day. I started getting the feeling back in that area.
Wow.
Really weird. But it makes sense because what was one of the effects that we were going for was dissolving old scar tissue.
Yeah.
And so, and you did have some in your knee that worked out for you too.
Yeah, I felt a little bit more flexibility in a knee that I had problems with before. So that was another after effect or another effect that I saw on that.
And then the other thing that happened too was that my carb cravings went away. Like any kind of carb or sugar cravings went completely away.
Completely, bam. Done.
20 grams twice a day. What brand of fish oil did you use, or did you use a specific brand?
It was Emerson.
Emerson fish oil. Okay, cool. So it wasn't like krill or fermented cod liver oil, and just basic fish oil.
It's highly refined fish oil. And do you know Ryan Freisinger? You met Ryan Freisinger at Paleo FX, probably.
I probably met him. Yeah.
Okay, so he works with us on this. He's a geneticist. For lack of a better term to describe him, a healer, geneticist. He was the one that suggested this particular biohack. It went great. It's obviously, not doable for the long haul because of the expense. Most people aren't going to do it because it's expensive, right? 40 grams of fish oil and if it's high grade fish oil and you want it to be high grade fish oil, that's a bit of a pop.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the full 30 days cost was, but it was not insignificant. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah. And normally obviously we don't normally take Emerson on a regular basis. Our regular omega-3 is the ID Life omega-3.
Yeah. So maintenance dose wise, where I'm running about 4 or 5 grams of fish oil a day. And I'm not sure what you are at this point, but
I'm on my regular dose that I just do through my ID Nutrition. Because it's still really super high quality.
I was sitting at Sun Life Organics in Malibu a couple of weeks ago, and Mark Sisson sauntered up to me and challenged me to begin taking 40 grams of collagen per day. which I'm currently doing. And I think when I finish that, I'm going to try this 40 grams of fish oil per day, and I'll report back to you guys and let you know how it goes.
Yep.
What's the collagen for?
For gut and for joints, but that's obviously that's about 4 to 6 times more collagen than most people are using if they're taking collagen supplements and stuff like that. So he just sent me a couple big boxes of primal collagen. I'm dumping it into smoothies and putting it in coffee and just kind of drinking collagen all day. And honestly, I feel pretty good because coming out of the race season last year, I'm still fighting some hip and back issues and rehabbing some things, and everything's feeling pretty good. So yeah, I've been doing that for like a couple of weeks, and I've not sprouted any strange green glowing eyes from my head. And my contrary to the South Park cartoon, my dick has not fallen off, flown around the room, and exploded. So we're good so far.
So far, so good. And these are the type of conversations you can have at Paleo FX, by the way. Just you hear these conversations in the hallways. I think my next
talk about flying dicks over barbecue. That's the way we go.
I think Ben, my next biohack is going to be super high dose vitamin D for the long haul.
Oh yeah, yep.
That works out.
Now, are you concerned at all about calcification? Doing something like that?
No. Again, working with Ryan Freisinger, he's got the dosing worked out to where it's I think it's going to be upwards of 30,000 IUs, and I have to get back with him. I don't want to misstate what he's doing, but then there's a certain amount of K2 with that to prevent the calcification side of it.
Okay.
I'll get back to you on that as soon as I dive into that one.
Yeah, the folks watching might be interested in that too. So once you've tried that and once you've got the protocol down, email it to me. For those of you watching, I'll either talk to Keith at Paleo FX about this and report back to you, or else I'll post to Facebook what he finds out. I'm writing down your fish oil protocol though as well.
And let me know what you think about the perception effects as it relates to like microdosing. I found it very, very similar.
Yeah. Now, Keith and Michelle, for your fitness routine, are you guys still doing a lot of like single set to failure, like heavy, super slow isometric type of stuff, or?
I mix it all up, Ben. I use our ArxFit equipment. I'll use that maybe twice a week. I ride a fixed speed bike. It amounts to about 80 miles a week of that type of riding, fixed speed bike. So, and then I do on top of that sprints and like bar work at the park, and then a couple old school bodybuilding type workouts a week. So I just completely mix it all up. And
cool.
There's not a whole lot of rhyme or reason to that. It's just A, what I have time for, and B, what I feel like doing.
Yeah. What about you, Michelle?
So right now I am been relegated to no HIIT workouts. I normally do HIIT and do a lot of ArxFit. So right now I'm doing yoga and I'm doing walking. I'm doing an extensive amount of walking, lots of stairs, and because I don't want to lose my butt. And
neither do I. Want her to lose her butt.
So I do a lot of stairs, and I'm doing yoga. I'm hoping to get kind of okay. I've had it really. My adrenal fatigue has been pretty high, so doing any kind of extensive workouts at this point would be kind of counterproductive for me. So hoping I get kind of approval to do more workouts here pretty soon. So we'll see.
Yeah.
For people who don't know what ArxFit equipment is, it is full balls out concentric and eccentric repetitions, to where the force output is perfectly matched with your biokinetics, and it perfectly matches your strength curve. That's about the easiest way to put it. So
it was very similar. And I did a podcast with Keith. If you go to bengreenfitness.com and do a search for Harder to Kill, I think that was the name of the podcast, How to Make Yourself Harder to Kill, with Keith Norris. We talk about that ArxFit machine, and it's very, very slow, smooth.
Very slow.
Very slow.
We
What's
lost
that?
you for a second there. You went very slow, and then you stopped. We were like, okay.
Yeah. So the other thing I was going to tell you, Michelle, was, of course, Brett Contreras, the glute guy, has done a lot of EMG analysis of glute activation, and has this whole, the extreme, like, isometric kind of hip hinge, hands here or hands here, where you're just kind of dropping and hinging. And I've had a few women I've worked with who like to walk and they want to keep their glutes turned on. So every time they get to a telephone pole, I have them stop and do 5 hip hinges to activate the glutes, and they keep walking. So it kind of keeps you using the glutes while you're out on those strolls.
It keeps the construction workers happy as well.
Exactly. Yep. All those construction workers and all the telephone poles. So what's going to be different at Paleo FX this year? Do you guys have any surprises planned that those people lucky enough to be on this Facebook Live can get filled in on, or anything new you're doing, anything you're especially looking forward to about this year?
Yes. Well, what we're looking forward to most is that Ben Greenfield will be there and will be speaking. And we have JJ Virgin that will be here this year, and Dr. Joseph Mercola, Dr. Zach Bush, and Dr. Ben Lynch. Trying to think of all of the new ones, because the normal cast of characters, of course, will be there. Rob and Mark and Chris Kretzer and Sarah Ballantyne and Nora Gagaudas. And so I'm
super stoked about Andy Galpin coming back again. I really love seeing his stuff, and that the work that his lab does studying muscle and hypertrophy, I find super interesting.
Yes,
and he'll be back.
Yeah.
And then Dr. David Perlmutter will be back again this year. But we're going to be changing a lot of stuff on the floor. We have an entire sustainability area that will be there at the event this year that we've not had in the past. So I'm real excited about that. But probably one of the biggest things that's going to be happening at Paleo FX during the event is 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, which is on its open invitational, world invitational, will be happening at Paleo FX this year. So we're super stoked about that because that's going to be super cool. It's going to be no gi and gi rolling. So they decided that they were going to open it up to both. So.
And that's going to be cool. So not only is the tournament going on, but they're going to have mats there. So they're going to have periods of open roll as well. Mm-hmm. So if you're coming into Paleo FX, bring your gi, bring your rash guard, and there's going to be times where you can get out on the open mats and roll.
Right, and then we have offered Rob Wolf to the winner.
Now, for those of you watching the Facebook Live, every year that you go to Paleo FX, there's also like a fitness challenge, or there has been in the past, where all the participants, if you want to while you're there and you want to like work out and stuff, there's actually like a challenge that you can amass points to like be in the running to win the challenge or place in the challenge each day. I love it because it kind of keeps me working out while I'm there. I'll jump in and do this or jump in and do that. The Real Fit Challenge, you guys going to do that again this year?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, the Paleo FX Fit Score will be back, and I'm better than ever. They're going to tweak it a little bit and make it better.
We had a trip up to Dallas a few weeks ago. Talked to Dave Potswald while we were there, who owns the Real Fit entity, and who we work with to put on the Fit Score test. And he's looking forward to it. He's got some new tests, and should be interesting. It'll be fun.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you compete against Paleo FX T-Rex.
Yeah. You know what I got the record in last year was the ammo can press, where you just press an ammo can over and over again as many times as possible. But yeah, I'll go up against the T-Rex. And last year, for those of you watching, they also did an obstacle course outside, which was a lot of fun. And for those of you who haven't been to Paleo FX, like the indoor section has all these cool, fun things to do, and expos and booths, and cool new books to look at. And I'll be there speaking and doing a book signing, of course. But then also, in addition to that, all the people who Michelle and Keith just rattled off, like, you know, Dr. Mercola and Dr. Bush and Dr. Perlmutter and J.J. Virgin and, you know, Mark Sisson and all these folks, they're going to be speaking. And so you can kind of go back and forth from like working out and jiu-jitsu and real fit to watching talks to, and then of course there's parties at night, right, you guys?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so we're looking really forward to everything we've got going on. We've kind of done an extension of our VIP lounge. So for those of you that want VIP tickets and like that VIP experience, we are going to, we're going to knock your socks off this year. So anyway, we're real excited about that. Then,
so not only is it an awesome show and it's 3 days of just heavy duty tribe vibe, but for people who have not been to Austin before, Austin is a happening town. I'm just going to say it is a great place to just hang out.
Well, and it's the best time of year to be in Austin. During that time, we generally have the best possible weather. Let me knock on wood real quick.
Yeah.
And
the dates are what again?
The dates are April 27th through the 29th.
Okay, got it.
And so we will. We're going to be ready. It's going to be it's the 3-day paleo party comes back. So yeah.
Yep. Everything
it's bigger and better every year.
Everything from biohacking to sustainability to relationships to plant medicine, shamanism, cryptocurrency, everything that can
cryptocurrency.
Do I know?
Talking about cryptocurrency.
We have a couple of new people that are going to be coming in, and we actually are going to do a panel on this on alternative currencies to the fiat currency we currently all have to play in.
Spanning from precious metals to cryptocurrency.
Right.
So kind of any variant you want to look at that is not fiat currency.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, cool. I actually have on my land here in Spokane, I've got silver, I've got gold, and I actually also have cryptocurrency hard wallets storing crypto. So we're off grid out here, and yes, I have both the ancient and the modern forms of currency stored away, and crypto fascinates me. I've been actually kind of into crypto for the past year and a half or two, so that's really cool. Very cool.
We're still working this up, but we're likely to have a panel that has an expert on precious metals, and we'll have experts on cryptocurrency, and kind of mesh these two together because they're both, obviously both ends of the spectrum want to see an end to fiat currency, but they go at it from different angles, right? So it's interesting to put those two together and see what comes of it.
I love it. And for people who fear that feeding through the fire hose or who have FOMO, when you go to PaleoFX, after you've attended, you can still be able to get access to like the videos and the replays of some of this stuff if there's certain things you want to see but you're unable to see, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. And by the way, Pascal just commented and said, hey, April 27th is my birthday. Do I get a rebate? You guys can make him like a bacon cupcake with a candle or something.
Maybe. I'll take this piece of bacon, Pascal, and we'll share it.
Okay, so this is the one thing that we can tell you is that our ticket sprint is only open until tomorrow night, right now. So this is the biggest discount you're going to get on tickets going forward because our ticket sprints have a certain amount of tickets at a certain price, and then once we close the ticket window down and those tickets are gone, we move to the next ticket window, which will be in a few weeks, and the ticket prices will go up.
Ben will have his link in the comments section.
Right, yeah, he'll have his link in there. So use Ben's link to buy your PaleoFX tickets. And
wait, my kids can eat if you use my link, bengreenfieldfitness.com/PaleoFX. Now, while we have Keith and Michelle on, of course, you guys ask your questions there in the comments because we got about 5 minutes left here for rapid fire Q&A. If I could toot my own horn, I am going to be presenting on some of the latest tactics. I've been super duper into telomeres, stem cells, longevity, and anti-aging of late. And I'm really going to focus on that at PaleoFX. I've been doing a lot of things, you guys. I actually have my fourth telomeres analysis sitting up at my up on the kitchen table right now, and I'll be doing that one. I've already taken nearly 6 years off of my biological age in just the past year and a half, using some of the tactics that I'm going to share with folks. It doesn't necessarily mean you got to inject like thousands of dollars worth of stem cells, but I really want to kind of like open the kimono for you guys on anti-aging. And so I'm going to be talking about that stuff at PaleoFX and sharing some things that I haven't shared before. And so that's going to be one thing. And then let's see if people have other questions here. Not seeing a lot of other questions. Somebody says, I would love to know more on the amounts for microdosing. The amounts for all right, well, answer the question. They asked it. How much psilocybin would you take if you were going to microdose with psilocybin, Keith?
I was doing about I was using psilocybin in an alcohol suspension, so it's a little bit harder to equate. But if I were to do the math, it was probably about a half gram a day. Psilocybin. Yeah. So it's
pretty typical microdose. Yeah. The most I ever took was I rafted the Grand Canyon with some of my buddies once. We did a 7-day rafting trip of the Grand Canyon, and basically we had mushrooms for breakfast every morning. In omelets and in chocolates, and one morning I did 10 grams of mushrooms out to the Grand Canyon, and the Grand Canyon is amazing on 10 grams of mushrooms. Not a microdose for those of you who are taking notes here. Jenna says the best paleo food hacks for focus. Well, you mentioned the 40 grams. What's your guys' favorite quick tip for biohacking cognition, or a food or a nutrient or a technique you'd use for focus?
Personally, Ben, right now I'm doing a cyclic ketogenic, and we just had you on the Keto FX Summit. We were talking about this, but I've been cyclic ketogenic for years now. And for me, what I like is coffee and MCT oil until I actually break my fast about, somewhere around noon or 1 in the afternoon. And that for me, I run perfectly well on that. And I mean, that's super, super simple. And I'll give a shout out to Dave Asprey and Bulletproof. We use Brain Octane is what I like.
Right, C8. Yeah.
And that for me is perfect. I mean, that's all I need.
That's noon here. I haven't eaten since about 9 o'clock last night, and just had coffee with some mushrooms and some. I had some of the on it emulsified MCT oil in there. Although I will admit, one of the days, because my wife made amazing Valentine's Day truffles, and I may or may not have eaten the entire plate last night. So that's
you have to live too. That's all part of this game. You have to.
Got a lot of flavanols in my system right now. How about you, Michelle? What's the number one thing you do to enhance your cognition or focus?
So the number one thing that I do is I do a
you hang around me.
I just listen to you, Ben. That's all I do. Listen to you and you. So I actually do. I don't do caffeine, which is shocking considering who I'm married to. But and I actually can metabolize caffeine really quickly. I used to be able to drink an entire pot of coffee and go straight to bed. But I found out that it was a migraine trigger for me. So I've been caffeine free for about 16 years. And so I do a chai in the morning, and I do I do collagen in my chai, and I do actually I do XCT oil, which is Bulletproof's. And I really, really like it. And I do a little bit of coconut oil for a little bit of flavor, obviously some butter. And I do Bulletproof's cacao butter in my coffee. Right. It's a really nice fat bomb. And I do cyclic keto as well. And I do a little bit of carb cycling in mine. So anyway, that's what I do.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Well, for those of you who are getting hungry now, let me tell you, you will not only encounter some of the best barbecue restaurants scattered around the central location of PaleoFX in Austin, but you will, of course, also find amazing foods at their expo as well. Yours truly, a little preview, may or may not have a bar coming out pretty soon that I might give you a few tastes of down there at PaleoFX too. So, So for those of you who like to eat tasty, healthy food, even if you're not paleo, I'm personally not paleo. For example, I've got little goats outside that we get the milk from, and my wife's making fermented sourdough bread, and I eat a wide variety of foods. I'm a little bit more Weston A price-ish myself, but all are welcome, right, you guys?
All are welcome. So I think that's one of the fallacies that we're trying to break at PaleoFX is people hear PaleoFX and they think it's all diet. And diet is just a small piece of what we are. And we just discussed the strength and conditioning aspect, the biohacking part of it, the sustainability, the financial end of it, the shamanism, plant medicine, all of that can be had at PaleoFX. So it's not just a diet conference. It's a human optimization conference is really what it is.
That and my thing would be that we are really all about unprocessed foods and whole foods, and so that's really what we're mainly about at PaleoFX. So we do welcome, obviously, Weston A price, we keto, low carb, Whole30. These are all, in our opinion, that fall all under primal. And so we too do dairy. So I guess technically we shouldn't call ourselves PaleoFX, but we are. So,
and as an incentive to come to PaleoFX, if you come up to Michelle and I while we're at the show, we will give you the inside scoop of the absolute best, hands down barbecue place in Austin. But you got to be there. Yeah. You got to be there to get the secret handshake to get into the best barbecue joint in Austin. Hands down.
For those of you watching, that's probably the biggest inside tip you're going to get from this whole Facebook Live. I'm going to be there as well. For those of you who've been at PaleoFX with me, I'm out there. I play full on when I'm there. You guys are going to see me talking. I'll be at all the parties, all of the expo, doing the workouts. You probably won't see me winning any jiu-jitsu matches, but other than that, I'll be there. And bengreenfieldfitness.com/PaleoFX is where you can go to learn more about all the VIP tickets, the regular tickets, everything that's going on there. Get signed up for it. Like Michelle said, your window is going to close coming up on tomorrow night. And really seriously, you guys, as you know, if you follow me, there's probably like one or two conferences the entire year that I would say probably one of the only ones I wax super duper positive about and just don't miss is that summit I go over in Finland, which is pretty interesting, like a biohacking kind of thing over there. But as you guys know, like I really don't like plug every conference and every summit, but there are some that are absolute. They just hit it out of the ballpark every year, and they're can't miss events for me. And PaleoFX is definitely one of those. So be there. And Keith and Michelle, I guess I'll let you guys get back to your bacon and your coffee and your little chai recipe there, Michelle.
Thank you. Thanks for having it.
Bye, well, you guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you all in Austin, Texas. Love you all. Later.
Bye.